Some madness and badness. Disconnect that. Let me. Yerp. Okay. This is a repeat of last. If this is a repeat of like last time, I'm gonna be so sad. It's so. I don't usually have my mic this close, which I need to change. Actually, I kind of like the look at this, but do I sound good, y'all? Do I sound okay? Do I sound decent? Uh, let's see. Middle fingers on 6. Never turn into a snitch. I need to get some music on. I need to get my speaker. Sounds good to me. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you. Let's see. Because I think my issue with my other interviews was like the mic was too far. So. But thank y'all. Thank you to whoever watches now or in the future. Thank you so much for joining. Excited to be doing this with Mortal Kombat and stuff. This is a franchise that means a lot to me. If you have not seen my first interview with Matt and King, please check that out after you watch this one. I have interviews out so far with the voice of Kenshi for Mortal Kombat X in the new game, Havoc from the new game, and now Matt and King again. Hopefully. But yeah. And then I have an interview announcement tomorrow. Exclusive for people who watch the live stream. Johnny Cage interview next week. And then I don't want to spoil the other one I have planned. I'm working on one more. I'm working on a few more before the strike happens, because I know the gaming industry is about to go on strike. So that's really going to change a lot of my content moving forward. So if there's anyone who see me interview, I'm probably already like working on it. So yeah, guys, I really want to. I have a lot of announcements. I'm a hardworking man, so bruh, I'm so boring, bruh. I need to be like, I don't know. I'm not boring. It's just like when I have like a set thing and like it kind of goes weird, it kind of like throws me off. So, but it's okay. If you guys have any questions you want to ask Matt, put it in the chat. If there are any questions you want to ask me, I'll answer them right now while we wait for him. So yeah, man, this weekend has been so, I want to say like chaotic, but like not in like a super bad way. It's just been like there's been so much going on. So it's my mom's birthday this Saturday. I'm sorry. It was my mom's birthday Saturday, which was great. Then I had the interview with Jacob Craner, which went so good. It went longer than I thought it was. I thought the interview was gonna be like 40 minutes tops. But me and him had a good back and forth, so that was nice. And then with there's so much stuff I wanted to work on this weekend that I just didn't get to, but it's okay. Life happens. Is there anything we could do while we wait? Let's see if I could put on something on the screen. Oh, yeah, I'll put on like a Mortal Kombat thing while we wait. Hold on. Can I still screen share? No, I don't want to do that. I want to screen share. I haven't screen shared in such a long time. Is there a way to? I can still do that, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, nice. All right, I'm about to share my screen. About to watch some Mortal Kombat stuff together while we wait. Let's see. Some people have already gotten Mortal Kombat already. The new one already, so that's cool, I guess. Let's see. Can I ask Matt what his favorite fatality is? Of course, I'd be happy to. I think that'd be great. Probably do that in the weird and wacky section of the interview. Will you take my stuff down if I do this? I hate YouTube's copyright system. I hate every social media platform's copyright system. It just feels like so egregious. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I could go on a whole rant about that. It's because, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of companies nowadays are like hitting content creators, not content creators. I don't like that word personally. Hitting like YouTubers and like people just want to like make content based commentary around the content, and they're trying to make it 10 times more difficult for people like us to actually talk about this content. It's really unfortunate. And it's very weird. Like, I don't know, especially like with the whole AI thing happening and all that jazz going down. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. Like, I wish there was a cool balance, but it feels like there's starting to be like no balance when it comes to like implications of these rules and stuff. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. It's kind of unfortunate because I love creating content. Okay. Because I love creating content. His internet was down. He was telling me about this, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I just told y'all I knew. I didn't know if it was back on or not. I probably should have asked him that, but it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I have a ton of videos I want to do just speaking about all of that because I just think it's really unfair how a lot of us are treated, especially like when you look at like how TikTok is working and everyone is blowing up off of each other's sounds. It's like, I don't know, like there's a cool way that we can share in each other's work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but everyone wants the most amount of money these days. Obviously, we see the strike, like these companies are just so fucking like money hungry, and it's so unfortunate. Hello, Andre B. Venom. Thank you so much for joining me. Matt's gonna be here in a few. His internet was acting up. He was telling me about that this morning. I just wasn't sure if it was back on or not, but it's back on now. So now we're just waiting for him, and I'm just venting. Because what is the internet if it's not the best venting place for where others feel the same? So, but yeah, so very excited for this game. I'm glad I'm doing these interviews now because I was talking about this a little bit briefly, but the gaming industry is about to go on strike. So I'm pretty much done with interviews after the MK1 interview is done, and I'm gonna fully switch over to other stuff. I don't know what yet. We'll see. Probably create my own stuff, you know, get my own ideas and stuff out there. Hold on. I want to get positioned right. But yeah, any more questions for Matt? Put them in the chat. Any questions for me? Be happy to. I was talking about the copyright thing because I want to play music and I just don't know like how YouTube works. It's really odd and it's kind of unfortunate. Oh shoot. All right, I see him in the chat, y'all. So let's get started. Let me post the link for people who want to join. I love that little sound that StreamYard does when you want to come on. Post the thing. Goodness. I hate social media so much, but I need it. All right. Hold on. Dang. I practiced this and I'm already like nervous. All right. Earth Realmers, welcome as today I convene with a god. Welcome to another installment of Jantmore Interviews, and as always, I'm your host, Josh, aka Jantmore. My guest returns to the role of Liu Kang in the latest installment of the Mortal Kombat franchise, Mortal Kombat 1. He's returning to the role since his debut as the character in Mortal Kombat 11, and you may be surprised to recognize his voice as Fujin in Mortal Kombat 11, Shredder in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and TMNT Out of the Shadows, the video game, The Atom in Injustice 2, Carrie Eurodine in Cyberpunk 2077, Human Torch in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, Alan Ripple and Lutz in the smash hit Pixar film Elemental, and hundreds more. In addition to his lengthy contributions to the voice acting industry, has made a name for himself on camera, appearing in movies and shows such as 24, Riverdale, The Rookie, Sightless, and if you've watched anything, you've probably heard or seen him. Now, please help me welcome back phenom in the entertainment industry and Renaissance man himself, Matt Yang King. Welcome back to the channel, Matt. Thank you so much. And here we go. Why is it not working?
Oh dear.
There we go. Hey.
That's strange.
There we go.
Oh my God, look at that. Wow. There's a lot of people up in.
Hundreds.
Like that guy, man. And I know that voice, I know that voice, I know that voice. Pretty good. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, man, you've done so much. Welcome back to the channel, Matt. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's such an honor to speak to you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Always, as always, man. Well, you know, before I get into the questions, I just want to give you a quick congratulations on everything. You know, what's so funny about a lot of these roles right here is that you probably, when the first time I interviewed you, you were probably like recording them or already had recorded lines for these characters.
Oh, yeah. And then a lot of them within the last like couple of years just like came out over all at once. So it was pretty cool.
It's really cool, and that's what I just love about us watching you voice actors as you progress, is just to see that. So congratulations on all your success, and it's just especially with Mortal Kombat 1 coming out in like, dude, like just a few days now. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. And I've created a Twitch stream called Matt's Gonna Play. And basically what I try to do is I come in every Wednesday. We've done a couple of test streams now. I think we're on our like fourth one, just to sort of mess with it and get it going, and just do a fun little test stream and go play with fans. And so I've just been coming in and playing as Liu Kang and getting my butt handed to me.
Why do all voice actors have the same stories with their characters in games? Like they always get to be.
I'm good though. I'm a legit player. I'm like I won a few rounds, but good look. Like when have you guys been practicing this game that you got me in a 35 hit combo? Like what?
I'd be mad. I couldn't. I'd be like, all right, guys, stream's over. Gotta go. That's just the type of gamer I am. I get so angry.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I was like talking smack. But then last week we had Alistair Duncan, who's the voice of Mimir from God of War. We had him on the show, and it was really fun because we got to, I mean, after we had the most amazing round of technical difficulty, we finally got the show up running an hour and a half late, and we were like, all right, let's see how this goes. It was amazing because it was really the first time he had ever played the game, the first time he had seen himself as Mimir and stuff like that. So it was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm gonna leave a link to that in the description down below so people can check you out and see some of your awesomeness that you got going on over there. But now let's dive into some of this awesomeness. And before, of course, we get to the main topic of conversation in Mortal Kombat, I want to talk about Shredder.
Shredder, huh? All right.
You played Shredder a ton of times, and of course, Shredder is in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Because of course he's in Call of Duty, right? Why would Shredder not be in it?
I wasn't aware this was news that I could talk about yet.
Oh no, it's publicly released.
Is it? All right. If it's public knowledge, then I could talk about it. But I was like, oh, I didn't realize that had gotten out yet.
Yeah, the skin is already out. The trailer's been released. Everyone, I was checking the wiki and stuff. It already lists your name and stuff. So you should be good. You should be good.
Gotta be careful.
But you know, besides Call of Duty, you've also played Shredder in TMNT Out of the Shadows. You did him for a TMNT short, and then you recently did him for a new TMNT game. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
It's something. You probably know what I'm talking about.
I don't know because I've done him for a bunch of things, and I don't know which ones are in the basket and which ones are outside of the basket. So I'm just gonna go,
The safest answer any actor can give when asked the question about the character. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was your reaction to finding out that Shredder was going to be in a Call of Duty video game?
Oh no, that was great. I mean, I was really excited to do the character and to be Shredder, and then actually doing Shredder was incredibly painful. I mean, just because when you're shouting grenade already at the top of your lungs, that's beast mode on your vocal cords. You know, I defy you to go outside and scream for 4 hours and see how you feel, right? Then Shredder is just like shoving my voice down as low as it can go and into the most ripped, because that guy's got to feel like he got burned in a fire, right? So it's just got to feel like this rough, destroyed though. And then screaming on top of that, dude, like I had 2 days, I'm like swallowing in misery, like just remembering having to do that. It was brutality, but it was brutality, but so much fun. So much fun. And I hope people have a ton of fun playing it because it was just so much fun.
Were they aware of your previous history with the character of Shredder, or did you have to audition for that role for the game?
No, I think they were aware of it, and I had done it in a different game that they were affiliated with, so they called me in to do it. And that's kind of the fun part of where I'm at right now is people just going, "Hey, would you do the?" You know, and it's like having Pixar call me up for stuff is like awesome, super fun. Yeah, I mean it feels like I sort of leveled up the last couple of years. It feels like I leveled up, and it was really. It's been nice. It's been wonderful. And hopefully like I got a bunch of things in the pipeline and hopefully we'll see those the next time we talk and you'll be like, what? So
hey man, I'm already freaking out at all of these characters I had to put together. So adding more to the list would already blow my mind. But yeah, man, how did you know, I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff. So I have to ask, how did you craft Shredder's voice for the various times you've played the character?
I really like the original one from the 90s. Whoever that actor was that nailed it, and the original cartoon, they sort of set in stone the comic. Now, here's the thing, though. My dad, back in the day, I remember he went to Comic-Con. I didn't get to go. I was like, I want to say I was like 13, 14 years old. And he came back and he was like, there were 2 comics that everybody wanted, and I brought you one of them. And I was like, oh, great. And he goes, this is the one that's called Nexus. And I was like, great. And he goes, the other one was something like Teenage Mutant, I don't know, something. Right. So that became a thing that he told me. And I was like, what did my dad mean? So I went and looked it up later and I was like, oh, why didn't you get me that comic? Because they're all ninjas and cool and Asian and awesome. But the thing is, the original comic was so much darker than everything that has come since. Right. So the original comic really harkened back to Kurosawa. It harkened back to the original Japanese Chanbara. And so I was just trying to put that into the tone. So it was somewhere in between trying to honor the original 90s role and be like that true Japanese, like, what is it? You know, getting that like you feel like your guts are moving every time they talk. So yeah, that was where I was going with it.
Oh man, and that's a great voice you've done. I'm so glad you've been able to play this character from multiple iterations. I love Shredder so much. I think he's probably one of the coolest fictionalized characters in all of history.
Yeah, I want an animated show. I want to do him on the animated show really bad. That's my goal. I want like 3 seasons on a badass animated show.
Yo, I would love for you to get that. I mean, obviously TMNT is getting huge with all the stuff coming out.
Yeah, the movie looks fantastic. I mean, I feel like they're doing the animation style a little bit of Into the Spider-Verse, which was lovely. But I really enjoy it. So I hope I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited.
And they already Paramount apparently has already greenlit a bunch of shows and stuff for it.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
if there's anything out there like for Shredder, Mad King Shredder would kick ass, man. I need that. So
Write in, everybody, write in.
start a petition, guys. We need that.
Start your petition.
But now let's get into Mortal Kombat, man. And it just seems like the game, not that this game has upped the ante to like 1,000. Like MK11 was crazy enough, but this just looks like it's shot off into the stratosphere, man.
Yeah, I'm real glad I get to be part of it. Because they did, I mean, working with Dominic Cianciolo, who is incredible anyway. Like, I mean, and him and Ed Boon, they just know the world so backwards and forwards and upside down. So anytime you have a question like, I don't know why I'm pausing on this line, they'll be like, oh, well, in Mortal Kombat 5, there was this mention of, and you'll be like, really? And you're like, yeah. And you'll be like, yeah. So they get really, really deep into the weeds about what the history of each one of the characters are. So I just sort of try to do them honor. And then the fact that Dom saw me doing Adam in Injustice and was like, I love this guy, and then gave me Mortal Kombat, and then has sort of crafted the story around me. That's a huge blessing, and just like such kindness from them, and real belief in what I can bring to the character and like that. And that's a huge compliment considering the guys who have come before me, who were all bringing some incredible voice acting.
Absolutely, man. I told you this story before in our previous interview. I don't know if you remember, but when I first heard you as Liu Kang, Little Josh didn't know anything about how voice acting in the industry really worked. Was really apprehensive to you taking on the role because I was so attached to Tom's version of the character.
Yeah.
I grew up with that version of the character, and he does an amazing job already. But as I've gotten older, and after interviewing you and hearing your many stories since I've interviewed you of making Liu Kang, I've just come to so appreciate and adore what you do with Liu Kang. I mean, it was incredible when I interviewed you and you were talking about how you, within Liu Kang, you made different variations for Liu Kang when you had the dead version. And of course, now you're taking on the main mantle of Fire God Liu Kang, and how you're taking that forward with this new game is incredible. You know, I don't mean to make you repeat yourself, but just quickly for the audience, could you please tell the story again of how you came up with the awesome voice for Liu Kang in the series?
Liu Kang is based largely in Bruce Lee, and it's based in the fact that the original Liu Kang back in the original MK1, which is now being reduxed in a wonderful way, was this Bruce Lee character, right? And so he had him every time he attacked, and I was like, this is great, but I always felt like he got short shrift, like we didn't get to really see the character. So I was like, what would it be like if Bruce Lee, because he died at 32, right? Like, what would it be if Bruce Lee had like 45, 50, like a more mature Bruce, right? Who was playing, how would he play this role? And so I was playing it as Bruce playing the role. So that was my first way in. And then they really dug on that. That's why he's got that strong Hong Kong accent. Right. Also, I feel like that makes him clearer. So like whenever, because sometimes there's certain aspects of parts of the Hong Kong accent, because it's based in Cantonese, has sort of phonemes that we can't hear, native English speakers can't hear. And so I was like, how do I clarify this? And when you think about the way Hong Kong is, and the way Bruce speaks it, right? It's this, you have the Cantonese, which sounds like chopping vegetables, right? And then you have the Eton English on the top of it, which sounds like you have marshmallows in your mouth. Everything is just like, I must speak around this lemon that I have, right? And then putting them together, you get this wonderful character. And then adding the grit to what Liu Kang is, and then deepening the grit when he gets evil, right? And then what was funny was in the original trailer, which I lost my mind about, because it was the release trailer was so on point. And I was like, oh, I'd buy that game. And then I was like, I don't need to. They're going to give me one. But when I saw the release trailer, I was like, oh, when he does the switch from "you have chosen to do war with a god," right? I was like, oh,
I don't mean to
okay,
cut you
they
off, but
didn't
that
do it
was phenomenal. The way
right.
you delivered that, oh my god, I get
But
goosebumps.
they didn't do that much vocal distortion with me. I think they just took two of my takes and sort of pushed them together and then just put a little bit of reverb on it. So I don't think they deepened my voice very much or anything else. So I really felt like, okay, that it felt contiguous. It felt like one character becoming another character, which was really, really nice. So yeah, no, I just had a ton of fun with Liu Kang and sort of becoming an actor who over prepares for everything. And so I really, really just like to know where he comes from and what his relationship with Kung Lao is. And like, I was just talking about this in a different interview with IO9. And it was me and Andrew, who plays Johnny Cage. And one of the things with him was I was joking. I find it funny that Liu Kang resets this world, right? And everybody gets what they want. Like the Kuai Liang, right? Like everybody gets to feel better. And Johnny, he just sends him right back to being a douchebag, right? He's just like,
Yes.
you know what the best Johnny is in my optimal universe? A Johnny Cage who is a douchebag, who hits on everything in the
And
entire
everyone.
world. I was like, what does that say about Liu Kang? That he's just like, the best Johnny Cage is the chauvinist Johnny Cage. Like, all right.
It's so interesting to see what they're crafting with this. I mean, you've already spoke about how much fun you've been having with this character, but it's incredible to see that Liu Kang, who is such an integral part of the Mortal Kombat franchise, is literally now responsible for creating a whole new universe of stories for Mortal Kombat. I mean, how does that even feel to be the lead of this new universe, technically?
Well, it's funny because, like a lot of us came to be associated with this when we saw the original movie with Christopher Lambert, right? And, I always remember that laugh and that like he comes in wearing the Showdown in little Tokyo or little China like outfit with the hat, and then he's just like, I am Raiden, God of Thunder. And you're like, what accent is that? I don't know what country you're from. And then he would be like, yeah, we got to figure it out. And I was like, okay, right? Like that
laugh kills me too.
That's not the guy I want in charge of my world. So having this sort of more adult look at, less campy look at the god who's controlling Earthrealm, that's kind of fun. That's really fun. And getting to have the guy who's the most good in the universe be that guy, awesome. Awesome.
How much time passed between recording for MK1 and MK11? Was it like an immediate, like, hey, man?
Immediate.
Okay.
Within months, they had me going on. And I couldn't tell because we had done a bunch of stuff for
the DLC Aftermath, yeah.
And then it was moving right off of the DLC into one, and I was confused because I thought it was still DLC. And he was like, no, this is a whole new world. And I was like, oh, really? So what's going to happen to my character? And he was like, oh, no, you're running it. And I was like, what? So that's fun.
Oh, man.
And it was a lot of hours. It was a lot of hours in the booth because everything is mine, and there's going to be, dude, the gameplay and where they're taking the gameplay. I can't say what it is, but it's a whole new direction for Mortal Kombat. It's very different. For those of us who just like doing the tower, that's there. For those of us who still like doing verses, that's there. But there's some new stuff, and it's really interesting.
We're already getting a little hint of that with the whole new cameo system where you can mix and match your characters with whole other characters, which is just so cool. One of my friends got to play the game, and he was talking about how useful the cameo system is when like performing cameos. And he sent me a video where he was doing this like insane Johnny Cage combo, and he was like, "You're done."
And the Johnny combos, he's gonna steal the show. as he should, right? But he's gonna steal the show for the second one. But the other thing is they made Liu Kang cool. I feel like for the first time, this character, like, he got to be cool. Like, Liu Kang's always been a chaser, where it's like, I'm gonna play Sub-Zero, I'm gonna play Scorpion, because they're cooler than Liu Kang. And this is the first time where I feel like people are gonna walk in and be like, oh no, like, he's the Ryu of the game, and I'm gonna play Ryu, because, right, like, he's crazy cool in the game. So I appreciate it all the way down, and especially just being a geek, I appreciate it.
Oh man, I was looking at the gameplay debut trailer where they were showing a little tease of Liu Kang's fighting powers with the mix of the fire god elemental stuff and how the dragon, like a fire dragon, like comes out of his hand. And
oh yeah,
it's insane watching everything that they're doing with this franchise now. And just to speak about that, story wise, I know you can't speak too much about this since the game isn't out, but story wise, what makes what they're doing so special with the story for MK1 and the teases that they're hinting at for the future of this franchise?
It's a good question. Let me take a second to think about it. Because this is one of those, what can I say and what can't? Story-wise, the story is it's honoring the original while going in all sorts of new, wonderful directions. Yes, that's the political answer.
Okay, all right.
That's what you get.
That's what I get. I'll take it. I'll take it, man. I'm just excited to be just waiting for this game. The anticipation is literally killing me. What was your I'm sorry, let me think about this question. What is one thing you hope that with what they're setting up with MK1 they carry on into the future?
Oh, I don't know. I like being the god of the universe. But
who doesn't?
I don't know if that continues, right? Like, I wasn't anticipating being that in the first place. But one thing I really like when you guys see it, I think you'll enjoy it. But I really enjoy the direction that the new game is taking, and it's a direction that I wished fighting games have taken for a while. So that's that. I'll say that.
Speaking on direction, I'm always interested on the important relationship between the actor and the director. You were speaking about this, but you've been working with Dom since Injustice 2. Mm-hmm. How did Dom's approach for MK1 help fuel and influence your approach to Liu Kang for this game?
Well, don't forget, it's also his words. So, a lot of it is him, not just voice directing the thing and being in the room with me. And don't forget, we did this through COVID. Right. So this is a lot of the time where I haven't seen Dom in person in 3 years. So, like, a lot of this is like working on time delay and me being in a booth in my house or anything else. So, like, the fact that this game exists even in certain ways and has come out reasonably on time is pretty amazing. And then just having Dom's influence in the room. Again, he just knows the universe. He knows what Ed wants. And it's funny because I'm always hamming it up in the booth, and I always improv these things that Liu Kang couldn't possibly say, but everybody cracks up about. And then I'm like, just put it in the game. Just put it as B-roll at the very, very end of the game. Just put it in there. And they're like, nah. All right. So, but he's wonderful. And he really, really just from pronunciation of every single name to place to everything on down, he's hugely influential in how good that game is.
I have to geek out over this line again with you. I was speaking to the voice of Havoc for the game, Jacob Craner for the new game, and we're both geeking out over this line. In their debut trailer, I talked about this briefly, but you say, "You have chosen to defy peace, then you've chosen war with a god."
Yeah.
Yo, that line is insane to me. I think that line is so impactful and literally cemented me getting this game. You ate that line up. Yeah. So good. What does that line say about Liu Kang's position in the world and where we can find him? What does that represent about him?
I don't know. I mean, originally I just thought it was like Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction, where he was like, I just thought it was a cold thing to say to a motherfucker before you killed him, right? Right? But but then it's funny because I've come to listen to it a few times, right? I did it so fast in the room because they had the advertising people come in on time with when we were normally just recording a session. The advertising people came in and said, here we have a script and this is what we'd like it to sound like, and we want it to be optimistic over here, and this is what it would, and then there's a turn. And I was like, okay. And they went, so would you like to take it line by line? And I went, no, just give me a run at it. Let me go. And they were like, okay. And there was a lot of skepticism in the room. And Dom was kind of like, all right, let's see how this is going to go. And because he knows I can roll it. And I just rolled it in one, and they finished that up and went, okay, that was great. So it wasn't more than a 3 or 4 take process to get the cut that they currently have. And it was just really, really fun. But that to your question, that line is fun because it shows that he's still a fighter within this. And considering who's coming through the portal and how much Liu Kang hates him, there's also a little bit of petty revenge in there. So that's kind of fun too. And it hints at the larger aspects of the game. So I won't go any more than that, but that's what's fun.
Ooh, you're teasing me too much, Matt. I'm sorry. You're teasing me. You're holding the key in front of my face right here.
Do you like the carrot? Do you like the carrot?
Oh man, there's another line that you said in, I think it was what trailer was it? I can't remember. Maybe you'll remember more than me, but in one of the trailers you said you said something like, you misunderstand my intentions, princess, or something like that. That was another good one. There's so many good Liu Kang bars in this one. I'm gushing over your performance here, but what do you hope the audience takes away from your performance when they finally get their hands on the game?
Again, I mean, I'm just really trying to honor the fact that he's now the god of the world, right? And having that point of view, you're really sort of the narrator. You're the guy kind of, I think they even give me a chance to say fight, which is kind of like, that may be a spoiler, but it's kind of fun to be able to be able to guy who says fatality, who's sort of looking down on what's going on, and I get to fight in it too. So it's just really, really fun to be in that position, and then to figure out which voice fits, for this character, and be in charge of the world.
That usually that minor thing of being in charge of the universe.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. In Mortal Kombat 11, you voice more than one character. Correct. Can we expect to hear you as another one in this
one? Fujin?
Not as Fujin, but as anyone.
No comment.
Damn. All right. We'll move on from that, man. Well, as fun as it is to talk about you and gush over these roles, of course, we have to talk about the serious thing of the strike going on at SAG after WGA strike. I didn't want to leave this interview without discussing that a little bit. I've never been so frustrated looking at entertainment news than I have been right now, because each day is just talking about how the AMPTP literally does not want to talk to y'all, period, like at all. Nope. And it's so frustrating. Well, first of all, before we talk about how you feel about the strike, what was your reaction to finding out the strike actually got authorized? Were you surprised?
Oh, no, I voted for it. So, I mean, I was, it was a 98% strike authorization. I mean, I was... Look, if because I'm both WGA and writers, right?
Yeah.
Because I've created TV shows and stuff like that as well. So if we don't solve this, if we don't say humans make stuff, right, then it's not just entertainment. Entertainment's just the canary in the coal mine, right? We're just the first ones who are getting hit. And isn't it weird that we're all swiping right ad infinitum to try and just have a human interaction, and computers are over here making poetry and drawing pictures? That's not what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? I'm in Cyberpunk. That wasn't supposed to be a primer. That wasn't supposed to be like, hey guys, this is what it's supposed to be like. That was supposed to be a cautionary tale. So
As
the
many
thing
other
is
stories
that
about
AI
this, you
can be
know?
wonderful for us. It can help us do things. It can be really, really egalitarian, or it can remove jobs really fast, right? Like I was talking to an entertainment lawyer friend of mine, and they just have Chat GPT hooked up to their server with just their cases, right? And so they can have Chat GPT write legal briefs. And as long as it's only accessing their cases, then a lot of the easy stuff down on the bottom gets done and gets done quickly. And I said, so what's that mean for people? And they said, oh, well, it's probably saved us this amount of money. And I went, no, what does that mean for people? And they said, well, we probably lost one associate position and probably 3 low-level positions, right? So that's 4 people just lost their jobs that would have had a job. And not even that. That's 4 people who would have lost their jobs, one of who was an associate, which means at some point they would have become a bigger lawyer and they would have gotten trained at this firm, right? Like that means that if we don't get this handled, these jobs disappear everywhere, not just in entertainment, right? There's a wonderful podcast called Planet Money by NPR that I recommend everybody go listen to. And maybe it's just this set of 3 episodes. But basically, Planet Money makes economics interesting. That's hard, right? Like let's go make economics interesting. But they said, can AI take our jobs, right? Can they take our jobs? And so they take AI and they feed the AI 2 60-page papers. Then they give those then they take AI and they say, generate questions based on these 60-page papers. Now take that over to the guys who wrote it. And they ask those guys the questions. And the guys are like, you know the difference between you guys as reporters and AI? And they go, what? They go, AI wouldn't write these questions. And they went, hang on, it did. And the guy goes, oh, okay, well, I guess we've improved even since when we wrote this paper. So then they take the questions and the answers and they go to the AI and they go, write us a script, but make it an interesting episode of economics, right? So AI is telling funny jokes, right? And writing. Then they took the host of the show, Robert Smith, they scanned him into the computer, they spent a bunch of money, and they came up with an audio, absolutely realistic Robert Smith, right? So you can't tell me that if somebody scans you into a computer doing your job, right? We sample you doing host of this show for 25 minutes and somebody else just chooses to do a whole new show of you with an AI you running it, that doesn't challenge what you have to do. Like we already have people stealing videos on YouTube, right? Like this stuff's, you can't tell me they're not people who are bored and who want the easy way out. I could just generate $20 and you got to then put a takedown request, all these other things, right? And that's just at low level. So the fact that this podcast was able to have an AI scan economic documents, write a script, write the questions, and perform it, and it's absolutely perfect. Come on, an entertainment script, that's nothing to that, right? And this has been out in the public for a year. So if we don't get a handle on this, right? I mean, just the questions, this is why the strike is so important, because, and why I think the noise of it takes away, because we're not asking the right questions. Like, let's say everybody knows somebody who was good in their high school play, right? Let's say that person comes out to Hollywood, they're an extra, right? They come out, they do a thing. Well, right now, already, Warner Brothers has scanned some extras in for $150, and they want to use their face and their likeness, their sound forever. Okay. So $150 is what your face is worth forever to advertise. Let's say, your mom died of cancer. Now we're going to use your face to advertise cigarettes in India. And you won't know. You'll have no idea because we can just run it. And then they're arguing about this. But the thing is, in terms of economics, you look at it and you go, okay, the writers, Well, baby writers in a writing room, they're bad. They haven't learned the process yet, right? So, but what are you going to do? Are you going to most showrunners are like, I don't want to have to teach baby writers their job, but you're going to hit return on a machine, right? And then that's going to generate 10 scripts, and then you give it to that showrunner to rewrite. Well, that's the same as what you're going to do the baby writers. So you're either going to hire 4 people at like 25 to 30 grand per script, or you're going to hit return on a machine that's free, right? Or we just have to pay a monthly fee of $250 or whatever it ends up being, right? Well, studios are obviously going to choose the cheaper option. But the thing is, if we do that, then you're never getting to train baby writers, or they have to get trained on YouTube or on doing something else. And they don't get to be in the high levels. Anybody who's at a high level already, they're going to be fine, right? Tom Cruise is never going to get old. We're just going to create new versions of it. But the thing is that we really need to pay attention to anybody. If I was 30 or younger, I would be like going out to writer strikes and going, how do I help? Because all this is saying is we're trying to protect the jobs of the kids who are like 15 in high school right now. We're trying to protect their jobs. This has nothing to do with whether or not we're making another $25 per stream of X. This has to do with protecting the future of an entertainment industry, and therefore what the future is of 25 other industries. And if we don't take care of it, I guarantee you, like, you're already seeing YouTube figure out how to take down people's ability to get advertisement. You know, everybody wants the money to consolidate at the top. And the thing is that AI either can be the thing that helps us be more egalitarian, right? Like, I'm bad at my job. I don't know how to do this. Well, an AI will sit with you for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and get you good at your job. That's fantastic, right? And AI can help be a digital creator that an actor in a room could put themselves on a green screen and become a one-to-one teacher like Blue's Clues for millions of kids across the world. And they could have the equivalent of an entire studio in front of them. That's fantastic. But AI can also take it all away. And the cases and the usage where it takes us all away are terrifying. They're terrifying because if you can copy my voice, if we don't have a digital right to likeness and sound and we can't legally control it, well, then what about the guy who controls the nuclear codes? And I can call him up and say, you know, in an AI voice, and have that AI voice copy the major who gives him orders, and the AI then has somebody scan into a computer and get that digital code that he needs as his verification. We're already using our voices to verify whether or not something is real, right? Like, this is my password, verified. And people go, okay. And then you can access your bank account. You don't think that if we don't get a digital right to likeness, that people aren't going to use that to scam the hell out of people? We need to control this now. And humans need to be in control of it now. And that's what this fight is about. So the thing is that it's become a fight about money, and it's become a fight about respect. And it's not. It's a fight about humans controlling their future. And if we can make it that, then we'll win and we'll be good and it'll be great. If we don't, then a lot of rich people will get rich and then they will die and they will leave us with a smoking ruin, and it's going to be Cyberpunk 2077. And I love being in that game, but I don't want to do it IRL.
Right. I couldn't agree more with what you said. I've been very frustrated watching, especially how voice actors are getting treated in regards to this. I keep hearing stories about voice actors' voices without their consent being used for so much, excuse my French, shit without their consent. And then when they're getting upset about it, they are getting bullied, harassed, told that they need to calm down.
Yeah, Jen Hale. This happened to Jen Hale, and you know, and it happened to Grey Delisle.
Grey Delisle, Jen Hale, Erica Lindbeck. There was a whole, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a whole list of someone tagging voice actors and was like, guys, I need you to pay attention to this post I made. Like at least 20 voice actors. Some of my friends were on that list, and their voices were being used for AI generated adult content. I don't have to fill that in, but you know what I'm talking about. Used without their consent. And it's just like, dude, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Why is no one taking a step back and be like, whoa, okay. I can't. Why is no one taking a step of being and asking about the morality of using this technology without someone's consent? Steve Bloom, right, came out and said, do not use my voice for AI generated content. I have seen 5 videos using Steve Bloom's voice when he explicitly said, don't do that. Phil Lamar, do not use my voice for AI generated content. Guess what I saw? I've seen multiple videos of his Green Lantern being used for funny Justice League videos. God, I'm so angry. I'm sorry. Phil Lamar literally said, don't use my voice. Why are y'all still doing this when they are actively telling you no? My voice, when you do that, you are going against my consent as a human being. My voice is my own. I'm telling you no. Why do you all keep... I don't understand why AI bros keep...
Because we're just doing it for a laugh is the answer, right? And it's always just funny, right? It's just funny. Okay, well, would it be funny for us to take your voice and prank your parent that you've been kidnapped? Right? Would that be funny? Well, it might be to some people. It might be really funny to some people to sample your voice, call up your parent and say, hey, mom, I'm in here and I don't know what's going on. And there was people and they came in a van, and we could do that. And some people are going to do that to some other people, and it's going to be okay. And we're going to go, oh, they were just doing a joke. And then those people are going to go to jail, right? But because we're in the public forum and we do utilize our voices, then that's what people are using it for. And the thing is, they're saying, well, why wouldn't I use professional level talent to do my thing? Well, the thing is, that professional level talent. Now, Grimes has made herself a Grimes bot, basically, and she's become a non-digital artist. She said, go ahead. You know, I can't put the genie back in the bottle. Go ahead. You're going to use me? Use me. Attribute me. And if it makes money, pay me. Right? That's it. That's where she's got to be. Right? So for me, I feel like I want something that says, use me. Go ahead. Please don't use it here. If it does, if you do, I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to work against you as hard as possible. Right? That doesn't please me. Right? Like for me, I have a real moral thing against smoking. I don't know why. I was born with it. My kids, when my parents were smoking when I was a kid, right? And they have stories about me at 3 years old throwing their cigarettes in the kitty litter, or like chopping them up with knives, like grabbing a knife, stealing a knife. I did 3-year-old stole a knife, chopped up cigarettes, threw them in the trash, right? Like, I don't know why. I've had a thing against cigarettes since day one, built into my character. Somebody uses my voice, like I refuse to audition for a cigarette ad. I think it kills people. I think it's amoral. Don't use my stuff where somebody's smoking in it, right? Like, don't. Right? Other things, I'd be like, yeah, that's funny, right? It's the right of for you to spoof, right? And therefore, okay, that's fine. The thing is, I believe this all comes down to an internet law, which is, and realize that this may hamstring people eventually, is that the more of this content that comes out where people are irresponsible with other people's stuff, the more we're pushing against our own freedoms. Why? Because there's a rule, I think it's called not Section 230 or Rule 230 or something like that, but it's basically that internet providers can't be held liable for the content that's on their site. Right? So for instance, the story that I heard was a guy who was on a dating app site for gay men, and one of his ex-boyfriends created a bunch of profiles for him and then went on that dating app and tried to get guys to come to his house and assault him, and basically said, this is something I'm into, right? This is something I'm into. Please come. If I tell you I'm not, that's just part of the game.
No.
Right? That's just part of what like, right? Now, when he took that to the company that he had a problem with, that company basically said, oh, well, Section 230, we're not liable for the content that is on our site. Now, here's the thing is if those companies do become liable for it, then they're going to have to put down rules. And if they put down rules really hardcore, then internet freedoms are going to get restricted, right? So the more use cases that people have where they're like, you are exploiting me, the closer we move to that future, right? So all I would say is if you want internet freedoms, then be a little bit cautious about this. Secondly, if you wouldn't do it to my face, don't do it to me on the internet, right? I mean, that's the thing that I'm noticing is it's like I was talking to a bunch of kids and I was like, just go knock on your neighbor's door and ask. And they were like, what? What do you mean knock on my neighbor's door? I would have to talk to people then. And I'm like, yeah. And they go, oh, no. And I think one of the things that we're doing is we've hidden behind the internet that it's safe, that we hide behind our screen names. We hide behind the ability to yell a threat and not be punched. Right. And, to yell names, to yell epithets that we would never yell in public because we're too afraid about our little meat bodies. And the thing is that we got to remember that that's who we are, that we're little meat bodies, and that if you wouldn't treat somebody like that in physical space, then you shouldn't treat them like that in internet space. I mean, maybe I'm the one who should do it, but somebody should write basically an internet set of honor rules. Like this is what it is to honor somebody in an entire new virtual universe, right? Thou shalt not use the N-word on a public forum, right? Like,
yeah,
right?
This basic respect.
Thou shalt treat thou shalt not comment about, thou shalt not show your penis anywhere in a close-up. It's not good, guys. There's a reason why that's down here and we're up here. The eyes are up here. It's not meant to be like on a phone this way. So just don't, right? Just don't.
There's so much stuff about the strike that's so important, and I agree with everything you're saying, man, because it opens up a whole can of worms where we're headed. And regardless of how we feel about the internet or technology or AR or whatever, it's going to continue to advance. Regardless.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna be the guy there going, "Get off my lawn! What are you doing?" I remember when the internet used to go up and scan one bar at a time. I used to get excited by seeing just about something that was skin colored. That was what was good for me. Yeah, that's gonna be me.
Oh god, talking at clouds meme. Yeah, it's so. I support this strike wholeheartedly. I know that there's talk of the gaming industry about to go on strike September 25th.
And then I will have no money. and then we will have no money.
I know
I will be opening a lemonade stand.
Going back to when you were a little kid in the summer heat, man. Oh my god. I know with that strike, that means you can't promote anything, right? You can't promote or work on anything.
Nope.
Right? Okay, right. So,
nope. So you go, that's really cool.
So you couldn't talk about Mortal Kombat, right?
No, because video game strike isn't here yet, so I still can.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So there's a whole sad story about, not sad story, but we're hearing about a bunch of stuff by actors about payment and stuff, about how a lot of actors during the strike, not pre-strike, have had to work 2 jobs just to be able to be an actor in this industry, and how they're not getting paid properly. And I've been hearing a ton of horror stories about that. I was wondering, do you yourself have a horror residual payment story or anything like that?
Well, I got paid $600 to be Illidan in World of Warcraft, in Warcraft 3. And that was, that's like betrayer. In truth, it was I who was betrayed. I mean, that was me. And I loved it and they loved it. And that was really one of my first gigs. And this is pre video games joining and being under union. So it was outside of contract. So basically they came back to me to do, you are not prepared for World of Warcraft. And I couldn't do it because SAG had said, if you do it, we're going to fine you a lot of money. And I went, oh, I can't do that. And so I said to these guys, look, unless you guys actually pay me enough money to pay my SAG bill, which would be $6,000, right? In terms of like how they much would dig me, Jesus. And then pay me a little bit beyond that, then I can't do this. And they went, yeah, whatever, here, Liam. And they gave it to Liam. And that's bummed me out forever. And the thing is that these are not even dimes to them. These are not even pennies, right? We forget how much a billion is, right? Like we forget that these game companies and these production companies are making billions of dollars and paying the top people tens of millions and then keeping the rest. Men in Black has never made a profit according to the studio, right? I know this because Ed was my mentor for writing, or one of my mentors for writing, right? Like here's a guy who helped me out. Ed Solomon is unbelievable. And to him, Men in Black has never made a profit. When I look at Warcraft, I got paid $600, $700, and that game has made 2.2 billion.
No.
Right? So when you talk about a game that's made 2.2 billion, I mean, let's just think about that. If I blink my eyes once per second, right? And I don't stop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, then by the end of that 7 days, right, I will have blinked my eyes a million times. It'll take me a week. I never stop. I just blink every second for a week. I got to stay awake that whole week and do it, right? If I'm going to blink my eyes a billion times, right? Again, it's once every second. I'd have to start now and stop in 32 years. That's the difference between a million and a billion. They're not close. A week, 32 years, right? So when you talk about somebody who's not willing to pay a bump on a salary that is, okay, maybe we could pay these actors. Oh my God, these actors are getting so overpaid. And this one wants $30,000 and this one well, these are dimes on $1 million and they're making $1 billion, right? You're talking about functionally, I would be taking the amount of eye blinks out of one day, right? I would be taking like 4 to 6 out of one day. And all of the other actors would maybe take, let's say, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now we've covered all the actors that have ever asked for it, right? And you still have 31 years plus 51 weeks of profit. You're fine, right? I mean, granted, you got to play. And I understand the developers saying, wait a second, how come you guys get to strike and that's not fair? Like the developers you guys are in there for one day and we're using you like this, but we're sitting here for days and days and days. How come, why don't we get to unionize? Why don't we? Well, you should. The answer isn't like, no, we both should suffer. The answer is, why aren't the game companies paying you more and getting you guys taken care of? And we're like every industry that where greed and stupidity can go in, we're trying to get people to fight each other so that the people at the top can keep more money. And it's silly. It's silly. And we got to stop fighting and start paying attention to what the magic show is. Because if they're saying, look over here, really what we should be doing is looking at their other hand because they're hiding a card.
I couldn't agree more. It's so upsetting to see that you guys are still going this long. I remember when the SAG strike got authorized in July, right? Like early July got authorized, the SAG after strike. Yeah.
Yeah, and writer strike's been going on for almost 5 months now.
Dude. And it's just like the
Have fun. Last time we had a writer strike, this is how we got reality television. And we know how everybody loves that. Right?
This is the interesting question I wanted to ask you. Is there a lot of similarities between the strike in 2007 and what was it like working during the 2007 writer strike in comparison to working right now?
It sucked. I mean, it's basically your money goes away. You know, I was just about to have my first child then. So I mean, I was sitting there and I was like freaking out because I didn't know how I was going to pay for my kids' food. Right. Now I got 3 kids and it's literally like, oh, okay, well, I don't know how I'm going to like keep them. You know, I still make lunches every night. Right. This isn't some strange like that. You tell me that Bob Iger used to make lunches every day. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe, you know. So, and, you know, that being said, I was an elemental. Bob Iger took good care of me, you know, but that being said, it's like, come on, guys, come on. This is not about only taking care of the people who put butts in seats. This is about building relevance for the next generation, right? Everybody's become about their bottom line as opposed to becoming about making a great product, right? Star Wars, case in point. I am the biggest Star Wars nut in the entire world. And Star Wars keeps on forgetting something very simply. And Hollywood keeps on forgetting something very simply. Is they go, we're looking for IP, right? We want new IP. Or we want old IP. We want to do A-Team again. Or we want to do we're going to take an 80s show. We're going to do Knight Rider all over again, right? Like people keep on reduxing stuff. MacGyver, Magnum PI. Like we're going to redux old stuff so that people can just ride on the name recognition and they'll go see it. Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars, right? Hollywood keeps on forgetting, and the big producers keep on forgetting that the biggest IP is, what was your last movie like? Right? And if your last movie sucked, well, that's the most relevant memory to something. It's like Star Wars sucks, right? Like we don't want that reference, right? They're like, people will still go to it because they're still watching the original 3 movies, you know, from the 1970s. Yeah, because they're great. You go and watch some of the others and you go, you guys did not communicate. 7, 8, and 9, we weren't talking. Right? We just decided to make 3 movies completely unrelated and then sort of tack a plot onto it. Like, come on, guys. Like, of course we're going to look at that and they're going to go, why are the Star Wars TV shows not doing very well? Huh. That's so strange. Why aren't the Marvel movies doing as well as they used to? Huh. Why did no one go see The Flash? Huh. And it must be because Ezra is a terrible human being. Well, yes, that definitely came into it. And also, DC movies are terrible.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, because it's like, and then we keep making like with these shows, with the Star Wars shows, for example, as phenomenal as Andor was,
right?
Everything outside of Andor, is missing something, man. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm a Mandalorian fan. I love Dave Filoni all day long. I think that, you know, I love Mandalorian. I think Mandalorian is fantastic. I think Boba Fett, I was just like, how do you take that character and absolutely dump him down a well? Like, come on, guys.
Then we had Kenobi, and then Mando season 3. Like, Mando season 3 just dropped the ball. Like,
it was fine. And that's the problem, is it shouldn't be fine. If you're spending $200 million on a product, it shouldn't be fine.
Like, oh my gosh, man. And I really hope that after this strike that these companies start to realize that we need good stories, we need humans, we need human innovation, we need to focus on these IPs and giving them time to breathe and giving them life. I feel like everyone's so these companies are so fixated on money that they just want to release. Like, look at Marvel. Like last year, they were releasing so many shows. She-Hulk, Moon Knight, back to back, and a lot of them just suffered from like a lot of lack of good story. They were lackluster, and then
it's because Marvel became Marvel in the 90s when Marvel was just competing against DC and getting things out. And that's when Todd McFarlane left and went, I'm going to go make Image.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
We need to, like, they're making the same mistake again. They're just making it in video form now, not in comic book.
I will disagree with you on this though. I saw your review for Doctor Strange. Why did you not like that movie? I've been waiting to
Madness?
talk to you.
Madness was the worst.
To talk to you about this. I'm not.
Oh my God, it was the worst. I will come on and like, oh my God. I love Sam Raimi. I would follow him into hell. I think he's amazing. I would love to work with that man. I think he's done incredible work. I love his shots. I love his simplicity. I love that he's just like, let's put Bruce Campbell in everything. Yes. I think he's wonderful. That movie made no sense. Bruh. Everything that they solved in WandaVision, which was a pretty good show, which was an interesting way of looking at someone who can distort reality seen through the lens of television. Great. Then that movie sucked. Right? Okay, tell me this wouldn't have been awesome.
Okay, go ahead.
If Doctor Strange was the villain of Doctor Strange. Right?
Huh. Okay.
Remember he had that huge fight against himself?
That scene was cold though when he was using the musical notes and
yes. Imagine if that was the culmination of the film rather than Wanda's gonna drop an entire rock tomb on herself. Because why? Because Reed Richards is the smartest man in the world and he's gonna get in fighting range with her and not think of anything else. And Charles Xavier is not gonna use his powers. And Whisper Dude, who can whisper her out of existence, is gonna tell her what his powers are right before he uses them. Because there's so many moments of stupid in that film, right? And who's really the villain? Is she? She's the villain because she read a bad book, because she wants her kids back, right? So wait a second. You can go with a woman who can jump through realities, right? And you want your kids back. So you're telling me in the multiverse of madness, there's not one multiverse where you died and they lived? Go be with them there.
All right. So guys, thank you so much for watching.
Right? I'll ruin everything for you. Moment I get the bit in my teeth about like, just think about it. Right? Okay. This is how I deal with my children. This is why I'm an Asian dad. Just stop. Think about it. Use your brain first. Think. Was it really not a terribly, terribly stupid movie? Oh, God. But imagine, right? Like this is like the Redux. So imagine what it could have been. Imagine if Doctor Strange, right? If we go off of the thing that happened in Spider-Verse, right? Where Spidey, because of stupid egotism, like says, remake the universe, right? So that means we have infinite versions of everything, which means we have an infinite version where Iron Man lived. We have an infinite version where Doctor Strange is bad. And that Doctor Strange says, this Doctor Strange has a bit of power that I want, right? Then you lead the whole film towards Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange. That would have been cool. That would have been amazing.
That would have been cool.
Right? You take the Doctor Strange, who in the first film was tainted by Dormammu and comes back, and now he's evil. And he beat Thanos, but he took all of the Infinity Stones, right? Like, you could have upscaled it. You could have kept on going.
I'll give it to you. All right, Matt, you got it.
See, I'll ruin everything.
Well, guys, we're just going to leave it there. Matt, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you very much for coming and allowing me to rant on your podcast.
That's what it's all about, man. Just venting and having fun and talking about the industry. Congratulations on the upcoming release of Mortal Kombat 1. Guys, do not forget to get the game September 19th, releasing on all new gen consoles. No, it will not be on the PlayStation 4. Matt, anything you want to leave the audience with before we head off?
Yeah, definitely. Come and join me. Come. I stream every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. It's called Matt's Gonna Play on Twitch. We then release it out to our YouTube channel, which is also Matt's Gonna Play. And we have a few streams going up there with me and my friend Jax, who's an amazing costumer in the industry who worked on Doctor Strange. Yeah, we talked about the industry. We had Alistair on talking about voice acting. We'll probably have Phil Lamar and a bunch of other folks coming and talking about voice acting and playing our video games. And you're welcome to come into the stream and ask questions and talk smack, and we'll try to answer them and be well. Right now, we're just having a little bit of fun. We're just doing it because it's simple and easy, and we want to reach out to fans. But come and join me. Matt's Gonna Play.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you again. I'm so proud of you, man. I called you a Renaissance man in the beginning for a reason.
I know you. That was like a big write-up. I felt like Jon Snow in the end of Game of Thrones. I was like, that was a lot of titles.
No, because you've done so much, and it's really inspirational to me because I've started to get in the industry. I'm working on a series with one of my friends, and I'm going to be directing that, and then I'm acting in it. And I've been doing a ton of stuff. So yeah, man, thank you so much. Before we go, I would love a shout out from my friend Gio in the voice of Liu Kang. Gio? Yes. Gio? Yes.
What am I shouting him out to do?
Nothing. Let's see. Just wish him luck. Yeah.
All right.
Voice of Liu Kang. Let's do it.
Gio, this is Liu Kang, the god of Earthrealm, and I want to let you know I believe in you, and here is my blessing. Good luck.
Luke, I love you, Matt. You're amazing. I'm going to keep in touch as always. Got a few things coming your way, and you just have a great rest of your day, my man.
Thank you so much, man. Do well.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next interview. Peace out.
Sounds good. Bye.